So how do you enforce a custody order if the dispute is legal custody? So let's say you have joint legal custody with ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, whoever it is, and you have kids. And you're trying to enforce these issues that are surrounded, that come up with legal custody. So legal custody, as maybe you already know, has nothing to do with the schedule. It doesn't have anything to do with when you see the kids. It has to do with decision-making authority. It's this bundle of rights that you assume you would have as a parent, and then if you do a divorce or a custody order, you then get those rights memorialized into a written document, into a court order that says what your rights are towards the children. So legal custody has to do with 100-mile rule, with being able to move out of state. That's one part of legal custody. So typically if you have joint legal custody, it'll say that neither one of you are allowed to move out of state or more than 100 miles from where you live now. Legal custody also encompasses, it involves school decisions, school making, decision making related to school, so what school they're going to attend. If there's some reason to change school districts, joint legal custody says that there has to be a decision that's jointly made. And then it also involves medical decisions, so major medical decisions that need to be made in someone's life, braces, glasses, contacts, sort of issues. That's usually about it. Most other medical treatments are pretty kind of a given, that if a child needs medical treatment, they need it. So it's not the day-to-day emergency room kind of stuff or taking them to the doctor, but it's more care, medicine, medications that maybe they're taking, where there's some decision making, especially with psychological types of stuff, or these other issues that can come up with braces. Do they need braces? They don't. So that's all joint legal custody sort of issues. Medical, schooling, religion falls into that category. So what do you do to enforce that? And by the way, I'm attorney Brent Boyer from Adam. And so yeah, this was a question that comes up frequently with clients of what do you do about joint legal custody when the other person won't follow it, they won't work with you, they won't cooperate, they won't make joint decisions with you. How do you enforce that? How do you deal with it? So first of all, you want to look for the workaround. So if I'm dealing with issues with doctors, she's not telling me about the doctors, not telling me when she's taking the kids, not taking them to the dentist, or not telling me any of that, I want to go directly to those care providers when I can, if I can. I don't want to be dealing through mom. Even if we get along, I don't want to go through mom. If I'm got questions for the doctor, I should contact the doctor's office. I need to make sure that it's known that I'm the parent and that legally I have a say in all of these medical decisions. And if I have to, I'll send them a copy of the document that gives me joint legal custody. But these medical care providers have to allow you to be in on the loop, part of the decision making, let you have access to the records and do all those things if you have joint legal custody. So that one strategy is just do these workarounds. Just do these things where you go around the mom and you deal with the care provider. So that's one strategy. If you're dealing with 100-mile rule and moving out of state, of course, that's a whole other category of is someone going to be allowed to move out of state? They have to get court permission. That one, you just got to stay ahead of it and be aware early on. If the other parent's making some plan to move out of state, you just need to remind them that you have joint legal custody, so therefore it's not up to them to move out of state with your kid or to move more than 100 miles away. They're not allowed to do it. Neither of you are allowed to do it, quite frankly, regardless of who has custody. So you might have shared custody, mom has custody, or you have custody. Either way, joint legal custody says, under Michigan law, joint legal means you can't move out of state. Either one of you can. Can't move more than 100 miles away. So if that's going on, you need to address that issue with the court. If mom is wanting to move, she's going to have to file something with the court, file a motion, and make a request, and have a court decide if she's going to be allowed to move out of state or not, if the two of you can't agree. So that's also part of, joint legal custody. And then if you're dealing with schooling issues with joint legal, again, the workaround is just make sure you deal with the school. Make sure the school knows you exist, they know who you are, they've met you, they have you on the emergency contact, they have a copy of the court order if they want it, so they know you have joint legal custody, and that means you have a say in schooling. You need to be contacted. You're an important part of all this. You're the parent. So they should be contacting you, involving you, dealing with you directly, and then don't go through mom. It's harder for her to block things when it's related to school if you're just going directly to the school. So those are some thoughts and ideas on how you deal with joint legal custody, how you enforce joint legal custody. Of course, enforcement can always mean filing a motion and going to court to enforce things, but there are a lot of other strategies that you can look at depending on the issue, whether it's schooling or medical or religion or moving or whatever it might be. There are some other things you can do short of having to go to court that can also work.